Coming up today on That LTD Life, I'm going to try out MaximiseAI. This is a way to identify anonymous leads on your website so that you can contact them and maybe close the deal if they're too shy to reach out. This is very similar to HyperReach.ai, which I reviewed maybe a week and a half ago, but is it going to perform any better? I had quite a few problems with HyperReach. It was able to do the identification okay, but it had some outreach issues. So we're going to try out Maximise.ai and find out if that works any better. Now, I am using the $59 Tier 1 license here. There are quite a few pricing plans available, all the way up to $699. I'll come back to the pricing plans at the end of the video, but for now, let's jump over to Maximise.ai. The setup process is very easy for Maximize. I found the onboarding to be a lot smoother and more clear than with HyperReach. You basically just get a little script. The onboarding kind of walks you through this, I feel like, in a better way than HyperReach did, which kind of you had to know where you were going in order to find it. In the onboarding, you enter in your domain name, they give you the code and then have you place it on your website and then verify it. Now that's not unlike what HyperReach did, but it just does it in a smoother, more fluid way. So what I did was just copy the script and then place it in the header of my website. I'm using WordPress, so I use the Fluent Snippets plugin, but you could really use any snippet plugin or add it to your theme. Wherever website you're using, there's probably a place for codes that you can dump in. Go ahead and copy the script, place it in there. And then after you clear your cache, come back here, verify that the script is working. You see it loads up a little quick instance of the site there, closes it and says you have successfully activated the script on your website. All right, then you're done. Let's go ahead and finish installation. And you just wait. You wait for people to come to your website and hopefully Maximize will be able to identify them. Now, that's kind of where I got stuck in that I've had quite a few page views, had it on my site for a few days now, had almost 2,000 page views, and it's only identified 2 companies and 0 visitors in that time. We can find the visitors that it identifies over here where it says visitors, and you can see it says no one has been identified yet. If I toggle this on to show anonymous visitors, it does find an anonymous visitor from the T-agency in Russia, as well as Juristech in Malaysia. Now I can see which pages they visited last. I can click in to view their details. So it just tells me a little bit about the company. In this case, it's Juristech. It's a fairly large company, size 251 to 1,000, and they are in the internet software and services business. Then there's a tab over here under activity where I can see basically they just landed on one page and bounced out. This happened a few days ago. All right, so this is the visitors tab, and we're currently looking at visitors, but we could also go over to accounts, which are going to be the companies that have visited your website. And I see the same 2 companies listed here, the T-agency.ru, as well as Juristech. Now, neither of these companies visiting my website is at all interesting to me. I don't really know what they do. Probably can't offer them any services. So I'm not terribly excited by that personally. And I wonder about all of the other hundreds of visitors that came, why they were not identified. But these 2 particular companies were easy for the software to find out who it was. Now, if you're using this software on your website and you're getting good leads, I definitely want to know about that. So comment down below to let me know if you've tried this out and if it's actually identified any people that you'd actually want to contact. But let's just suppose that these were good leads. Is it actually going to give me any helpful info? Well, I've got T-agency right here. I can click on this, and just like we saw in the visitor section, under accounts, I get pretty similar information here. Looks like their session was literally 0 seconds. It was probably a bot, honestly, just landing on the page and then bouncing. Or actually, it came from Yandex, so maybe it wasn't a bot. I'm not really sure. But I guess the helpful info here is I could click over to view their website, and it takes me to T-agency, and I can see, it's in Russian, so I can't read it. But that could be helpful. If this was a legitimate lead, I could at least then find their contact form and reach out to them. Now, I did notice with Juristech, it actually found their LinkedIn as well. So I could click right on that, and it pops me over to their LinkedIn profile right here. I guess that's helpful as well. It looks like they have visited a total of 4 pages. Let's see if we can see which pages they went to. So they came from the main homepage, and then they went to the services page. Yeah, so unfortunately, it just says page views 4, but I don't get a list of every page that they visited. That would actually be really helpful to know exactly what pages they visited. I can see that they went to the homepage and then they went to the services page. If I knew what services they were interested in, that would allow me to customize any sort of cold outreach I did to be more tailored to what they've already been browsing. Now, on both the visitors tab as well as the accounts tab, there is an export button that you can click right over here, and it's just going to export those contacts as a CSV file. So here's what the CSV file looks like. You can see that I don't have any personal contacts for these two leads, but if I scroll over, there's quite a bit of company info, such as the description of the company. And actually, if I go over far enough, I can see all 4 URLs that this company visited. So I can see that they checked out my courses, my Ghost Mastery course, and then actually went back to the services page. So it's there, it just wasn't inside of the GUI. Yeah, and just confirming that activity is not listed in the GUI. If I go under visitors and I find the anonymous visitor, so we kind of have the same 2 contacts here, right? We have the company account and then the anonymous visitors because we don't have a person to connect with them. If I view the details for the contact, the visitors, excuse me, you can see that it, again, only lists the main page or the last page that they visited. There's not a full log of everything that they saw. Okay, so that's the important part of the tool in my mind. Can it identify the leads that visit your website that you don't otherwise know about? Well, probably not in this case. If you go to the homepage here, you're going to get some more statistics. I didn't scroll through all of these, but I can see we've got location of traffic right here. And it looks like most of the traffic that it is registering is coming from Glostrup municipality, as well as Quezon City, which is in the Philippines. And we've got Vienna, Azusa, I think this is a city in California, according to my Google search, Guadalajara, and San Francisco. Now, my own analytics tool that we use on our website has vastly different information in this same time period. It has the United States, far and away the biggest visitor coming to the site. So I wonder if the geolocation of this tool is maybe just a little bit off. Just for comparison, here is the same date range using our analytics tool. We use Umami on our website. And you can see that most of the visitors are coming from the United States, with a few others trickling in from all over the world. But it's certainly not this huge bulk of the traffic, like Maximize says, coming from Glostrup and Quezon City. Now, these are page views versus visitors. So potentially maybe a couple people just spent a ton of time on the website and they were in different locations. But still, I think it's a little bit unusual how it's so one-sided on one tool and not another. Okay, so if you came for the leads, you might be a little bit disappointed, but there's one more feature kind of snuck in there and it might be a sleeper hit. It's called Engage and it's currently in beta, but all you got to do to turn it on is flip this little switch right here. No extra code needs to be added to your site. It's going to use the same little widget we added earlier on. And what this does is add a chatbot to your website. So here is our website right now. You can see we've got a little widget here. Oh, there is another one. So it's kind of gone on top of our existing widget. I can still open that one. This is just a contact form. It's not actually chat, but I've now got a full bot here. This is loading in from Maximize. So back in Maximize, if we look at Engage, we've got a setup step right here where we enter in our website URL, and then it's going to go ahead and extract all of the data from that website. And then it's going to create a pitch, and we can also make a playbook. This is an AI bot. It's going to be trained on the data from your website and then can actually sell to your customers. So I'm going to enter in the URL right now. I've not done this yet, so you're going to be seeing it with me for the first time. I'm going to extract the data from clientamp.com. No word whether or not it's going to grab all of the pages linked on the main site or if it's just going to read the homepage and then be trained on that. All right, so first step, research, check mark. Next step is to create the pitch, and it grabbed our company name here. I could refine that, like, no one says the LLC part. Oh, actually, I can't refine it. It will not let me edit this. That's a little bit of a bummer. All right, then it says, what are you selling? And it wrote this very long explanation for what we sell. I'd say this description is pretty accurate as to what we do, but it's also very AI sounding. Like, we offer premium courses designed to make you a master of essential web management tools and techniques, plus a full service agency option that lets you offload all your digital tasks. Something about that just doesn't feel very human to me, because I guess it's not, it's AI. Under the proof points here, it's extracted some proof points from our website, and I can't edit these either. I don't know if I'm supposed to be able to or not, but I do notice right away, like, it's got one of these wrong. It's kind of combined two of our testimonials. So Dane Maxwell is one of our clients and Enlightened 4D Imaging is one of our clients, but it's merged them together and they're in no way related. So Dane Maxwell is not from Enlightened 4D Imaging. Then after proof points, we've got pain points, and it talks about the pain points that our audience might be facing: time-consuming web management, ineffective e-commerce setups, lack of marketing automation, email deliverability issues, and confusing content management systems. Well, That is true for just about everybody who uses content management systems. They're almost always confusing. But yeah, I guess these are fine. But again, I can't edit them to kind of put them into my own language. All right, so when I get to the end of pain points, there is a next button here, but I can see there's also the playbook down here. So I'm not really sure if I just should keep scrolling and interact with this, but you know what? I'm gonna click that next button and it just scrolls me down the page. Okay, so now the next thing is basically to build a playbook. So this is how you're going to drive the sales conversation. And it's kind of a cool idea, I guess. I kind of worry about the legality of including all of these famous people. Like we've got Alex Hormozy, Simon Sinek, Gary Vaynerchuk, Scott Galloway, Sandra Yancey, Russell Brunson. You know, these are some pretty, Jordan Belfort, some pretty big names here. Sam Parr. I could see some lawsuits happening just for saying like, and literally using their face on the page. But I don't know, maybe they got permission. So we can set up a style here. We can do a quick question about topic, introduction from. So let's say our setup was improving your metric by X% with product service. And we will use Alex Hormozy for that. And then we can do the sales technique down here, which is to either create urgency with a FOMO offer, personalize solution pitch, compliment, connect, and offer, build trust. So these are kind of common salesy approaches. Spark curiosity with a hook. Let's just go for a personalized solution pitch. And then the call to action can be to schedule a meeting, book a demo, download a guide, join a webinar, start a free trial, or request more information. I'm going to go with request more information. And then I don't know what this is asking me to do. I would think it would be like a link in here, but it's not very clear because, oh, here it says link to project. But when I choose request more information, it just says schedule a meeting. I choose don't download a guide, it says link to download guide. So I think it's just unfinished here because here it says schedule a meeting and then link to your calendar. Yeah, I don't know. That seems kind of incongruent, but I'm going to go ahead and just drop a contact form link in here and go ahead and hit save. And then it scrolled me up to the top. I guess I am done. I think everything is set up. We could probably try out the chatbot. So I can see the inbox right here. This is where the conversations will come in. And then we've got our training data here. And it looks like I can actually add additional training data. So that's cool. I can hit add training data right here and then gather website content. It says it'll systematically explore the site. This is what it should have done, in my opinion, right from the get-go. Or I can add specific links or import PDFs or CSVs. All right, so let's just have it scroll the entire website. All right, I've entered in the URL for our sitemap. I'm going to submit that. All right, so it said it was training on the website. I'm going to go ahead and reload this page and see if anything is actually coming in. Oh, yep, there we go. Looks like a bunch of sites have been loaded in. 5 pages full. Looks like there's about 10 on each page. So we should be gathering quite a bit of info. Yeah, looks like 50 is the total number of pages it went to. So that's good, but also it might be a maximum of 50, in which case I would want to specify which pages, because these are mostly my reviews, which will not help with selling services. So just looking at the columns here, we have the document title, which is just the URL, the category that it's in. So if I click on this, nothing happens. It's in the general category for everything. We've got when it was last updated and then its current status. So it's still training on this data right now. There's a little kebab menu over here. And if I click this, I can actually change the category to sales. So that's interesting. That could definitely be done better, in my opinion. If it's going to be scraping all of the pages on your website, before it starts training it, you could maybe categorize the pages, at least give me the option, give me a little dialogue and say, here are the pages we're going to scrape. A great example of this is Insert Chat. They do a really nice job of letting you tailor which pages get imported. That's a recent LTD. It may have just ended on AppSumo. Hopefully they come back someday. That was one of the better ones I've seen in terms of chatbots. Okay, so here is our training data. We'll give it a bit to chew on this and maybe ask some questions about LTDs. And then down below here, we can customize what the widget looks like. It is currently black and it has our logo pulled in, so that's cool. We can change the message bubble color, maybe add a video welcome. That's kind of nice. So choose video. It just wants me to upload a file here. I don't have a video ready to go for that, so I'll leave that off. But it says, welcome, how can I assist you today? Basically, the welcome messages I can change. Let's find out if I can change them. Yes, I can actually change these. That's good. And then under book a demo link, I'm just going to add in that same contact form I had earlier and go ahead and hit save. While I'm waiting for the chatbot to chew on all of that data I just submitted to it, let's take a look at the different integrations that are available. So we've got Slack, Instantly, webhooks, and Smart Leads ready to go right now. So you can create integrations. If a new customer has been found on your website, you can get a notification on any of those platforms or use a webhook to send it over to whatever CRM you'd like. It looks like they are currently working on integrations with Apollo, HubSpot, Salesforce, Zapier, and HeyReach. There is a team section over here, so you can add multiple users to this account. There's an unlimited number of team members for every single tier on AppSumo, so no issues there. You can invite as many people as you like. There are 2 different roles, administrator and member. If you're glancing ahead to the sidebar, you might notice there is a white label option over here. Well, unfortunately, this is not part of the AppSumo deal at any tier. Even if you buy the top tier plan, you don't get white labeling. It's an additional $500 a month. So normally I applaud companies for having upsells like this. However, I think this one is just a little disproportionate for what people are paying on AppSumo. I don't think they'll find many people willing to jump to a $500 a month tier after just dropping, say, $69. You do get a lot more limits here. We'll talk about the limits coming up. 3,000 monthly credits. With my plan, I only get 250 credits. However, I have used 2 of them and it still says 0 out of 250 used. The bot is still chewing on the training data. I have not seen any of the statuses switch from in progress to something like complete. I will keep an eye on that, but I wanted to point out that you may turn this on and then decide, you know what, I don't actually want to use this on my site. And maybe you didn't notice the little message that popped up when you originally turned it on and you don't know how to get it to go away. Well, there's actually an option for this. Just click on your user profile down here, go to settings, and then under identification preferences, you can disable the engaged chat widget. I don't know why it's hidden under identification preferences, but you can find it right there to turn on and off the widget. While we're on this topic of confusing toggle switches, I should mention that even though the initial setup process was very clear and simple, I was able to get visitors to start showing up rather quickly, or at least page visits. They didn't identify the visitors, but there was one hidden toggle switch I did not find for a day or so, and that is under visitors and then accounts. There is a toggle switch here initially. In fact, I think I can turn it off to show you what it looks like. It's again under identification preferences and this one right here. Let's save this. So the very first time that you use the tool and you go over to visitors and you're like, oh, it hasn't found any visitors yet. Okay, cool. You might not notice this account switch up here. When you go to this, you actually need to toggle on a switch. It didn't go back. Maybe I didn't hit save. You actually have to toggle a switch to turn on the identification of companies. So yeah, maybe I missed a company or 2 in that first little window, but yeah, that's the story. In fact, I think I know what the problem was. Once I toggle this off and I hit save preferences, I get a little spinning wheel and it never actually goes away. I've been sitting here for well over 2 minutes waiting for this to actually save. And if I reload, go back to identification preferences, oh, it did save this time. All right, so now I can show you visitors, accounts. Now there's a toggle switch. This is kind of masked that very first time. So make sure you turn this on. I honestly think it should be on by default. I don't know why it's not, or at least given the option in that initial setup process. All right, so unfortunately, none of the trading data has actually moved from in progress to anything else. And I've waited quite a while. There is no update on any of these links, but you know what? Maybe it's been processed and they're just slow to update the front end here. So let's try out chatting with this chatbot, shall we? All right, so I've reloaded the website and here is the chatbot and I'm gonna click on this and it says, welcome. I'll go into that screen. All right, I'm gonna say, I have some questions about Croto, which is one of the pages that it was going to crawl. I'll say, I have some questions. Do you know about that? And submit. And now the first thing it does is actually ask for my email address. I do notice that the page is kind of auto scrolling in the background as I use the chatbot. That's kind of weird. I'm gonna go back up to the top, enter my email in, and it's scrolling me down again. Continues to scroll as it types. There's nothing on my site that would like auto scroll you. This is definitely something that's coming from the chatbot. So I'm asking the chatbot if it thinks that Croto is a good tool. Should I buy it to make tutorials? And I'm gonna submit this. I'm now at the bottom of our page, by the way. It has scrolled all the way down to the bottom. All right, I'm gonna ask what score Croto received. Let's go ahead and submit this. Now, obviously this chatbot is not meant to be like a knowledge base. It's meant to try to sell stuff. But yeah, it doesn't really know this. It's not going to give a specific. It says it has consistently received high scores for its user friendliness. So it's not aware of the actual review that it's trained on or that it's hypothetically trained on. Yeah, so it's been 14 minutes here. It still hasn't updated a single document. I'm going to click over to the Croto review just to show you kind of what I'm expecting it to know. You know what? These links are actually not clickable. That's too funny. All right, so here is the Croto review, and I can scroll through. And at the bottom here, it should actually give me the final score. Yeah, so overall rating is 7.3 out of 10. Do you think it's a 7.3 out of 10, chatbot? And the page has scrolled down to the bottom again. Yeah, so it definitely has not been trained on this document yet, or it just isn't aware of everything on the page. So yeah, a little disappointing there. All right, so the training data is not there, but can it actually sell me a service? I'm gonna just be really forthright, kind of ideal customer. Hey, I'm looking for someone to do something for me. And let's see what it says. All right, so here is the response. It says, I'm glad to hear you're considering a new web management provider, Dave. At Client Amp, we offer a comprehensive suite of solutions tailored to your needs. Very AI sounding, right? A comprehensive suite of solutions. Either that or just extremely corporate. From seamless website management to expert WooCommerce support and powerful email services, we've got you covered. Our self-paced courses and full-service agency option could certainly help you in managing your content creation and tutorials more efficiently. All right, then it asks if I would like more information. Yes, I would. And when I click that, it pops me out to the form that I gave it. So it should do that. I'm gonna ask how it compares to Kinsta. Let's see what it says here. All right, so here's the response. It says that Kinsta is a reputable provider, but we are more tailored in our approach. That's accurate, but it does mention that our commitment to customer satisfaction has led to a 95% increase in online sales for our clients. I don't recall mentioning that anywhere on the website. That's a pretty bold increase. So yeah, definitely maybe concerned about that because you don't want the chatbot to be making any, fake claims or hallucinated claims. Then I've got the option to schedule a consult. I'll click that and go back to the form. All right, when I clicked that, it said, excellent, we're scheduling your consultation and looking forward to discussing Clients App services. In the meantime, feel free to browse the website or reach out with further questions. All right, so that's what it's like to interact with the chatbot, but what's it like to be an administrator of the website using Maximize when someone's actually chatting with the bot? Well, here I am inside of the inbox and I can see the contact right here. If I click on it, I am able to actually see the conversation and I could drop in as a human and actually chat in real time with them. And I'll just go ahead and test this out. I'll say testing. Now back on the front end, I can see that my name shows up here as DA and then testing. So I wonder if there's a way to customize that, but I'll be like, hey, what's up, DA? Now I wonder if it's saying DA because that's what my user avatar is currently assigned to. Let me upload a photo here. It's just under email preferences back in that same setting screen we saw earlier. So I'm going to select the avatar. I've chosen my photo here. I'm going to choose upload and then nothing seems to happen. I'm going to go ahead and hit save and just hope for the best that it just has not refreshed yet. And we will refresh here. No, it's not actually letting me upload the file. If I upload this logo, this PNG, no, that's not working either. Yeah, so I even jumped out and tried this in Chrome, still no go. I can't actually upload a user avatar. So big fail there. However, once I'm inside of the chat, despite the fact that I can't update my user avatar, the information I can see about the lead is actually pretty informative. It found my LinkedIn profile, it got my title from LinkedIn, it knows where I'm located, again from LinkedIn, and then it's got my website and everything right here. It's got a little description that it basically scraped my LinkedIn profile, we can say that. Funny that it didn't actually pull me in as a visitor or an account, but maybe it's smart enough to know that it's the same email address, not positive. But the real interesting feature here, and I don't know if I really feel that good about it, is the fact that you can call the user. You can do a full-on video call right inside of the chat. I'm gonna call myself here. I'll grant all the permissions, and then you get a little preview over here where you can choose which camera you want, your microphone source, your speaker source, start the call. So this is my webcam on my monitor. It's squished together and weird looking, so I'll kind of sit up funny. And if I hit start call, it's now calling me. And you can see over here inside of the web browser, I am receiving a call. That is just, I don't know what I would do if I was on a website and I saw that. I would definitely, just close it out. Like I'm not gonna take a call on a random website. I can't actually close it either. That's not working. I can't answer it either. It's just playing music. All right, so if I open up the chat, I can see here that it's calling. If I can decline it here. All right, that works. But the other little buttons that were coming up just were not working. Even after declining it, it's asking for permission to use my camera and microphone. This is kind of a mess. I'm gonna try just one more time. I wanna see if I can get these buttons to work. Every time I click either the answer or decline button, it actually restarts the little jingle. Yeah, as a user, I would be extremely frustrated with this. I would not think, oh, let me just open up the chat bubble. I'm just gonna choose accept, see what happens. Can I talk to me? All right, it's not actually pulling in both at once, but There you go. That's what it looks like. You'd have you up in the corner, just like a little Zoom meeting. I mean, that's a cool idea, but I'd rather it be initiated on the other side. I'd rather the user on my website ask for a video chat rather than me calling them. That feels intrusive. Maybe you feel different in your industry, but at least making it two-way so that either side can initiate would be better. Checking out the training data just one more time. It's been a half hour now, and it says that everything is still in progress. I can go through all of the pages. None of them have changed at all. So yeah, I'm not sure if these will complete or not, but I will update you on the next episode of the Taco Truck Roundup as to whether it actually ever updates from in progress. If you don't know, the Taco Truck Roundup is the summary show where I take these full-length reviews and I give you a condensed version into about 15 or 20 minutes. You get 4 or 5 products inside of that 15 or 20 minutes and the broad strokes. If you want the details, you can watch these videos. Taco Truck Roundup comes out once a week and it's available right here on this channel, so make sure you get subscribed. All right, let's head back over to AppSumo and check out the plans and pricing. As I already mentioned, I made this entire video using the Tier 1 $59 one-time payment. Now, with that, I get 250 credits per month. So that is 250 IDs, basically visitors identified. And perhaps looking back, the reason mine says 0 out of 250 is that it didn't actually identify any visitors. It just identified the companies. So I think that might be what is going on there. I get unlimited users, meaning that my team can all have access to this tool, and I get 60 video minutes per month. If you want more, you basically just add a higher plan. You can get more credits and more video minutes with each additional tier that you buy. So here's what Tier 3 looks like. Tier 4 is a pretty substantial leap, at least in terms of credits. And there is Tier 5, 5,000 credits and 1,200 video call minutes per month. Now, before I give you my conclusion and final thoughts, I want to point out one more thing that's confusing to me. Perhaps someone can correct me if I'm missing something in the UI, but it does say we get unlimited sites with this deal. I can't find anywhere for the life of me to add an additional site. Here's the main dashboard of Maximize, and I've got the little drop down here where you normally find multiple sites and maybe an add a site button, but nowhere do I find that. If I click on the install script option, it's clearly just for this domain. I can't add a second domain from here. There's no options for sites under the team option. There's no options under billing, although I do notice that one of my credits has been used. Hasn't identified me, but it's been used. Hasn't identified anyone, but it's been used, so that's interesting. So yeah, I can't find a way to add an additional domain. Definitely another kind of oddity to this tool. All right, so it's time for those final thoughts. Wow, MaximiseAI is definitely incomplete. This is quite disappointing to see that it's not identifying contacts, that the training is not working for the chatbots, at least not in what I would consider a reasonable amount of time. I've tested lots of other chatbot tools, and maybe it doesn't process 50 documents in the blink of an eye, but it would have done at least one over the course of 30 minutes. And yeah, just everything else is kind of a big letdown. The call feature is interesting, but the way it's implemented, I think, is kind of backwards. It's not the right tool for me, and I'd be curious if it's the right tool for you. So if you get excited about these features, definitely let me know how you're using it. Maybe I'm just thinking about it incorrectly. Yeah, I don't know. So while I felt like HyperReach was a big disappointment in terms of the fact that I could not get the email integration to work properly, Maximize doesn't even have a native email integration, so it doesn't have that opportunity to fail. At least with HyperReach, it seemed like there was some redeeming qualities with the ability to create outreach messages, and it had the built-in drip sequence thing, but I couldn't get that to work. Yeah, I guess both of these are a bit of a disappointment if I'm being straightforward. I'm gonna go ahead and give Maximize a 3.9. It really has a lot of room to grow. So even though this AppSumo deal missed the mark for me personally, there's still a lot of great deals over at AppSumo. I highly recommend checking out Fraud Blocker before it leaves the store. It's going away in just about a day. You could also go ahead and check out DMARC Report. I just made a video about that late last week. Go check that out. I think it's a fabulous tool. And if you haven't heard, Breezy Cloud is back on AppSumo. This is a full website with a good CMS built right in. So if you're looking to ditch WordPress or Squarespace or Wix, definitely check out Breezy Cloud. I've got a full video for that as well. And it's only $59 for 5 sites for life. So if you're considering getting any of those AppSumo lifetime deals, or really anything at AppSumo in general, I would highly appreciate it if you click my link in the description before doing so. That link is the magic link. It allows these daily LTD reviews to continue to come your way. That's going to do it for this video. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. Head over to Client Amp, get signed up for the free email newsletter, and I will see you in the next review.